All right, so I'm gonna throw a cylinder, but I'm gonna also just talk about the terminology of what everything is called because there was somebody who wanted to know that. So basically this right here is called a wheel head. This is called a bat, and this goes onto the wheel head so that if I need to, I can lift the whole thing off. I have placed my clay mostly on center, but the first thing that you need to do is center your clay. The reason you have to do that is so your hands aren't wobbling around. So you're just pushing in, pushing down, and my hands are connected so that I don't have my clay go fly off the wheel head. So I'm pushing in with the heel of my hand and I'm pushing down, and this is called centering. I'm going to ease my pressure away as soon as it's centered. So the next thing I have to do is form the opening, okay, because we want this to hold something. So I'm going to go ahead and take my index finger and I'm taking my middle finger on my right hand and I'm pushing in towards the center. And I always do this at an angle, which means I do have to push a little bit with my right hand. Sorry, with the rest of my finger. All right, so then when I get down here, I'm going to round this off. I do have some air pockets in this clay because I was just wedging up some clay that I had used, but we're just going to ignore them. So I am compressing this. That's what that's called. I'm compressing the base, and that helps to prevent cracking in the bottom, and it also just creates a nice flow. All right, so this part right here, if I'm going to make a cylinder, I'm going to do what's called collaring, and when the clay is thick, the way I collar is I push with the heels of my hands in towards the rim. I'm not pushing down here because I kind of left that right where I wanted it, but I am going to just push in on the rim. And I'm going to ease my hands away so you can actually see what parts of my hand I was using. I'm not using my whole hand. All right, so the next thing that I have to do before I start, I'm going to compress the rim. This is called compressing, and that's just going to make my rim look nice and strong before I start pulling. All right, so pulling is when you grab that clay, you squeeze your fingers, and the action of squeezing makes that clay taller. So I'm going to go ahead and gather some clay down here just by pressing in. I don't really know what that's called. But this next part right here is called pulling. So I'm connecting my hands. I've got my 2 fingers underneath, 1 finger on top, and I'm squeezing that clay between my fingers. And I'm lifting this clay up. So that squeezing is happening more from the outside than the inside. The inside hand is more like supporting. Oh, that's ugly. So I'm trying this thing where I'm throwing with less water, but I had an uneven rim, so I wanted to compress it again. Now, compress is kind of deceitful because it sounds like you're pressing really hard, but you're actually not. You're just lightly running your finger on there.